You're listening to Voices of Madison Park, the podcast where we highlight the people shaping our school and community, only on WBCA LP 102.9 FM Boston. Welcome back to the Voices of Madison Park. I'm Elijah DePina, and in this edition of the podcast, we're celebrating the incredible women who are making a difference and breaking barriers every day. As we honor Women's History Month 2025, we're embracing this year's theme, Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. And we've got a very special guest in the studio. She's a woman with a powerful story, a dedicated educator, and a leader who has spent the last decade helping Madison Park seniors succeed academically and preparing for life beyond high school. She's our assistant head of schools for grade 12. Mr. Grace also leads the RocksMap Early Education Program, helping students graduate not only with a high school diploma, but also an associate's degree, all before leaving Madison Park, and there's been more. She's the cousin of General Gary Brito, a 4-star general in the United States Army, whose leadership clearly runs in the family. And on a personal note, she's a proud mom of 3 daughters, and let's not forget her beloved dog, Silas. All right, Mrs. Grace, let's start with an introduction. Can you tell us how you got involved in RocksMap?
Absolutely. So approximately 10 years ago, I was recruited from Brockton to come and assist with the integration of a dual enrollment program between the Madison Park Allied Health students and Roxbury Community College. Our students were to go over to Roxbury Community College and take a few classes to get some credits. So from there, we just built it up and turned it into an early college program with Bunker Hill Community College.
For the students that don't know what RocksMap is, can you kind of explain what the role of RocksMap is?
Absolutely. So the RocksMap Early College Program is a program where students primarily from Madison Park, all across all vocations, can earn some college credits while they're enrolled here at MP. Our goal is to stack the college credits and get them at least 12 credits or more, with hopes for them to get an associate's degree from Bunker Hill Community College.
That's interesting. So what are the requirements to get into RocksMap?
So right now, the requirements for you to get into a RocksMap, you can start as early as 9th grade. You want a recommendation from your teacher, a recommendation from your vocational teacher, depending on what grade you are, and then your willingness to actually put in the work, because it is a lot of work to balance your high school life, college life, and just being a student. So we just want to make sure you're ready to put in that work. We'll take a writing sample from you, and in some cases, in Miss Mellow's class, we'll take a math sample from you, interview you, and see how what your goals are after high school, and then we'll get you enrolled in some courses.
So what are some of the biggest challenges that students typically face with dual enrollment?
The biggest challenges that student takes with early college is time management. We understand, and I completely understand, that you guys are here to be students and young people trying to find your way in the world, but we also want you not to think about the now. We want you to think about the future. College is very, very, very expensive, if you guys haven't researched it. So it's better to get that out the way now, so that when you get to school, you're going to stay there longer and have less student debt. So I think one of the time management is a big one, is a big problem, big issue. So we're just trying to teach you how to manage your time between school, life, work, co-op, and those things.
That's really interesting. What support systems are in place to help students succeed?
So we have a very big support system here. We have tutors here, Madison Park teachers that are representing tutors here for the students, and then we also have a tutoring program at Bunker Hill for the students to go to Bunker Hill and tutor there as well.
So since 2020, 16 students have earned their associate's degrees.
Yes.
What does that achievement mean to you personally?
That is big for me. We're the only school in the early college high school in the Boston Public School District that has graduated students with associate's degree, and that's a big accomplishment for the students. And for me, it just proves that with the hard work that we put in, myself and the teachers involved at RocksMap, that we put in, that it's a substantial gain for you students. So we love for students to get the associate's degree, but we also love just for you guys to try some classes, get some credits, and think about your future.
Do you remember the first student to earn their associate's degree?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Oh boy. So my first student was Melanie Sola. She was a cosmetology student. She's also was a magnificent student. I still talk to her to this day. She actually has a sister here who's also enrolled in the RocksMap program who's kind of following her footsteps, but a little bit different, which I like. Melanie's went to Northeastern, and she traveled abroad, switched majors a couple of times, but she's still very much part of the Roxmap family, and I still hold her near and dear. And then we had Jovan Graham, who was a student in Allied Health, who went to Benjamin Franklin. Now Franklin Commons Institute is a new name now, and he graduated with an associate's degree in 2020 as well. He also went on to Northeastern. I actually met with him a couple weeks ago, and he's a pharmacy major. So still near and dear to my heart, still part of the family. Once you're my kid, you're never not my kid.
That's really interesting. So this year, how many students do you think are going to get their associate's degree?
I'm looking at 7 right now, so that's pretty good.
Can you name one of the 7?
Do you want me to name one of the 7, or do you want me to name all of the 7?
All the 7.
Oh, man, here we go. So, Cesar Pena Checas, Kayla St. Felix, Nathalie DeRocha, Abu Sayem, Matthew Esquivas. Oh, my goodness. Mia Mello. And if I get one more, I'm going to lose it. Oh, my goodness, it's right there. Oh, my goodness. So you didn't tell me you were going to ask me this, all 7 of them. Give me a minute, and I'll come up with the 7th. But there's going to be 7.
So we've talked a lot about your personal life and your work life. Mm-hmm. So you're the cousin of General Gary Brito.
Yes, I am.
A historical figure in the United States Army. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. How has this journey in leadership influenced your own path?
I mean, to have a cousin that to be a general in the Army is crazy to me, because he's a very humble man, and I call him every name in the book besides cousin, and he's general, sergeant, lieutenant, but you don't believe how big it is. It's his sister that said to me that you get more people that get in the NBA draft than you will as a general, and that's great for me. It's coming from Cape Verdean beginnings. That's a big thing. It fills my heart, and I'm very, very proud of him.
Hopefully one day I can meet General Gary Brito.
He knows about you, and he's coming for you. Yes, I'm hoping he sends a Blackhawk, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I told you this is my goal, to get the Blackhawk care for us, but we'll see what happens.
How often do you speak to him?
Facebook often. He's very busy, so every few months, yes.
So you're coming from a Cape Verdean background. Mm-hmm. How has your culture shaped your approach to education and leadership? So growing up in Brockton in the 80s and 90s, there wasn't as many Cape Verdean individuals as there are now, so it was kind of different. I was referred to as the other type of Puerto Rican, which we never understood, because we never really had that idea of what the Cape Verdeans were. We knew inside of our family, but not as much as the culture is now embedded into Brockton. But identifying as I am a Black woman, understanding that, education is everything, and it's going to get you, once you have education, it can't take that away from you. I've instilled that in myself, and I've instilled that in my 3 daughters. So here we are, and I want to make sure that I can instill it in other students as well. What are some of the values of the Cape Verdean culture that you think students can learn from?
Hard work. We're hardworking people. We don't stop, and I think that the value of family is there as well, and we're losing that a little bit in this day and age. The value of family is there, so I think staying with your family and staying with not just the family that you're born with, but the family that you make, and having that support system and continue on, be hardworking and looking at that goal is a value that we all should have.
That's interesting. So in Brockton, some people call it the Cape Verdean Central.
You mean Little Cape Verde?
Little Cape Verde.
Yes, we actually have one of our fire trucks in Cape Verde. Yes.
So how was it like growing up in Brockton?
When I was growing up, we didn't have Cape Verde. Well, we had a few, my family being one of them. It was a different time, quite different than what it is right now. I love to see the culture, and I was happy that my grandparents got to see some of it before they passed, that they could actually see some of their culture embedded into the community, because they didn't have that when they were growing up, right? Or when my mother and her brothers were growing up, they didn't have that. We only had it when we went to New Bedford or Fall River. But being able to see it as adults now, I like it. I think they appreciated it before they passed.
So as you said before, Cape Verde has a strong emphasis on family and community.
Yes.
How do you bring that mindset into work at Madison Park?
Like I said, and I tell all my RoxMap students, you've signed the paperwork to join RoxMap, but there's like a little small print where now you're my children. So now I have to make sure you're doing what you need to do.
What are some things that your family members have told you personally that you have put into effect now?
Oh boy. A lot of good, a lot of bad. But I took the good and the bad, put it together, and moved forward in everything I did. So if I set a goal, I made sure I met that goal. I never started something I didn't finish. And always when I walk out the house, I have to remember that I'm representing my family. So I have to make sure that before I do something crazy, I have to make sure that it's not going to reflect negatively on my family or my children.
So this year you've taken on a new role, assistant head of schools.
Oh, yeah.
As assistant head of schools for seniors, what's your advice for students who are getting ready to graduate?
Stay focused, come to school on time, pay attention to what the teachers and I are telling you, your CFCs, and Mr. Neal, like, this is it, y'all. This is the last, what is this, March 27th? This is the last March 27th you're going to be in Madison Park. And I need you to make every day count because June 14th is going to come up quick. And then you're going to wake up and you're going to be an adult by age, not an adult by actions. And it's a different world out here and it can be unforgiving. So focus.
When you were a student in high school, how did you get through?
Oh, boy. How did I get, I'm not going to tell the stories, but how did I get through?
Doesn't have to be detailed.
Oh, I definitely would not do that on camera. I had a strong background with my mom. And this is what I was supposed to do, and this is what I was expected to do, and do it. And that's what I did. I was expected to graduate, and I did. I was expected to go to college. I went a little bit late, but I went. Got a few, finished a few things, and a little sidetracked, but set the goal, meet the goal.
So senior year is also about celebration. What are some exciting activities that you have planned for this year?
So next Wednesday, we are taking the senior class to Chevu skating rink. So we'll be skating there. And then we will have, hopefully in May, we'll do a decision day for the students that have decided what they plan on doing after they finish high school. That's a big day for us. We're also planning for the senior class trip. We're June 6th and 7th, we're hoping to go to Six Flags in New Jersey for a few days, and then also senior prom, which is June 5th at Venecia. That's one of our big things. And then we have senior sign out and, of course, graduation.
So do you personally like skating?
Yes. I used to be able to skate backwards and all that stuff. Not anymore. I'm getting older, so I don't bounce. I kind of just fall.
So for students who are inspired and want to join the RoxMap program, what's the very first step that they should take to get started?
If you are interested in joining the RoxMap program, and even if you're having some questions on it, talk to one of your teachers. Mr. Samaha is a great resource. Miss Mello is also a great resource. Mr. Fonts in the RoxMap room in the bridge is an awesome resource too. He works closely with me to assist the students. Or just come down and see myself, catch me in the hallway. And we can talk about what your plans are, what you want to try to do, and see if we're building RoxMap out to be embedded into the school, this Madison Park schedule next year. So there'll be more opportunities for students to go on board if they don't feel comfortable on campus, which is sometimes a big thing for you. So just reach out, send us an email, come find us, and we'll definitely help you out.
So to continue on, what keeps you inspired to keep doing this work, helping students, leading programs, and showing up every day?
Helping students, leading programs, and showing up. What keeps me inspired? The students, just to see at the end, at graduation always, to see the look on their face and the parents' face, to see the accomplishments that the kids have made. Even if you don't get a whole associate's degree, some credits still count, and it's something different than what you're doing now, and you're achieving your goal and graduate in high school, and that's what I want you guys all to do.
So who are some students that have surprised you this year?
Surprised me? Oh boy. You've made a big change from welding now back to TV, which I knew you would you would be. Jaden Bizzle has turned out to be great. He's so quiet, but I still love him. He's turned out to be amazing. Cesar, I've always known was going to finish on top, and he is. Beautiful Smith is definitely coming out of her shell. Great basketball player, great volleyball player, getting her. Oh, and that's my 7th one. Beautiful Smith is my 7th one, is getting her associate's degree. I told you it would come to me, right? She's an auto. She's went on co-op. She's getting her associate's degree. She was all-star in basketball. She plays volleyball, so she's actually turned around a lot as well.
So this month is Women's History Month.
Yes.
Who are some women that stand out to you? They can be Cape Verdean.
Women that stood out to me. There's many of them. One of them would be my mom. She had a wonderful child a little bit early, me. She's overcome a lot of obstacles. She's actually vice president of a bank. Not something that I think she set out to do, but that's where she's at, and she's retiring this year, so I have to give a shout out to my mom.
So this year's theme is moving forward together. What does that mean to you, especially as a woman in education?
What was that again? Read that.
This year's theme is moving forward together, and what does that mean to you?
It means finding your people, your group of people, and I call them my people, and working with them and collecting more group of people and just making, especially here at MP, making the student's life change.
So when you were growing up in Brockton, to end off, what was going from the graduating experience to college like?
I took an untraditional route. I ended up having a child. That was untraditional, but it was done, and she's here, and she's 31 years old now, so she's actually has a master's degree, and she's in counseling, so I think I did good with that one too, right? What did it look like? I mean, there was a lot of resources, and there's a lot of resources in every community that you're in. You just need to make sure that if you need help, you ask for help, and somebody will direct you to the correct resources to use, and use them, right? And use them to your ability. And then when you're given an opportunity that makes sense for your future, take advantage of it and get that opportunity, because in the end, it's going to benefit you.
So lastly, if you could leave our listeners, especially the young women of Madison Park, one final piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't stop. Keep moving. You might fall, but make sure you get back up. I know that sounds like a cliche. And make it happen, because you will.
Mr. Grace, thank you for sharing your story and giving us an insight into the RocksMap program. Your Cape Verdean roots and the impact that you made at Madison Park is extraordinary.
Thank you.
For our Cardinal listeners, if you're interested in learning and earning your associate's degree while attending Madison Park High School, make sure to talk to Mr. Grace and all the other RocksMap instructors. This has been the Voice of Madison Park. See you next time.